my boss, the dean and friend, Dr. Usman Bala, my friend and colleague, Dr. Zubairu Suleiman, respected teachers, lecturers here present, my friends and colleagues, the secondary school students, my colleagues, the members of the Youth Neuroscience Association of Nigeria, as well as friends also. A very good morning to you all. And of course, sorry, the members of the press and other members of the LOC here present. It's with great joy and pleasure to be with you today. As Nazifi rightly put it forward, we have been trying to see this program come to life since last year. And we fixed a lot of time. Unfortunately, elections and a lot more has changed a lot of things. And today we are having this program. And the basic idea behind it is to introduce our younger ones to what the brain is, and then of course some of the things that we need to know about our mental health. And the theme of the program, as it has been highlighted, is Science Festival and Neuroscience Outreach Gombe 2023, with primary focus on brain functions, mental health, drug addiction, and its impact on human physiology or biology in general. Last year or 2 years ago, we went to some of these secondary schools, and then we introduced them to the functions of the brain, and then some of them even participated at the National Brain Bee Quiz competition that was organized by Neuroscience Society of Nigeria, and they really did wonderfully well. One of the schools, Penn Resource, represented Northeast Nigeria, and they travel all a long way to Ibadan, where of course they emerge winners from Gombe, and then from Northeast in general, Gombe, and then of course they went there and they did a very good job. And this time around we are going to have the Brain Bee here in Gombe, and then from there a lot of things may come over. As my dean rightly put it, everybody is a winner in as much as you are here. Nobody is a loser. The basic idea is to motivate you, and you are going to see what he said and what I'm saying right away in a very short period of time. This program is organized by TReND in Africa. So who are TReND and what did they do? Sorry. Where's Abdullah? Development in Africa, and it is being formed by highly motivated people across the globe. We have Lucia from Crick Institute, United Kingdom. We have Tom Baden from University of Sussex, and then we have Professor Sadiq, who was part of us and currently in Uganda, and now presently he is working as Vice Chancellor in Niger in a private university. And then of course we have a bunch of motivated people that come together in order to see that we motivate the next generation of scientists. And of course there are different partners, different people across the globe that are part of TReND. Some of the Nigerian team, we have Professor Danjuma, who is going to come all a long way from Zaria tomorrow, and on Thursday you are going to see him and interact with him during the Science Festival and the award. We have Dr. Usman Bala, the dean that is currently sitting here. We have Dr. Sharif, who is supposed to be with us, but unfortunately due to certain things that are beyond his control, and a lot more, and more people that are sitting here that we cannot capture. And the journey usually begins a few years ago in 2013, when we all sat down and felt the need to motivate the next generation of scientists. We come together And these are some of the team members. You can see Professor Danjuma here. You can see me standing here. Dr. Yunus are also supposed to be part of us. Dr. Sharif here from AB Uzaria. And then Abdul Basit currently in Portugal. And then of course you have Dr. Isa, who is in Massachusetts Institute of Technology, United States of America. So we sat down during these conferences, present to people what TReND is and what we are doing. And of course there are a lot of partners across the globe: Gombe State University, Science Communication Hub, University of Cambridge, Sussex, a lot more, that they usually come together in order to see that we motivate people, establish laboratories to different institutions, including Gombe State University and a lot of other universities across the world. And of course, some of the people that donate for the successes of this program, we have International Brain Research Organization that sponsors this program. We have Company of Biologists and a lot more, including people that are domiciled here, including the LOC members that 2 years ago contributed their own money in order to go around various secondary schools and motivate you. And we can see the reason why in few minutes to come. So this is the meaning of TReND, who we are, and this is the first outreach that we've conducted in 2013 in Gombe High School. And what will amaze you is that some of the little children that you are seeing here, some of them have graduated from MBBS, engineering, pharmacy, and some of them are here with you. They are in 600 level MBBS. Here they are part of the organizers. One of them is raising her hands up. You can see her there. And then of course we have a lot more. Yeah. We have a lot more. This is in Jos, this is in Ilorin, this is in different places. We travel across the country in order to motivate the next generation of scientists. This was the 2017 Science Festival that was done here in this particular wall, just like a replica. One of the person that registered you when you come in is currently, this is her. She is going to say something to you. That was in 2017 when their school came and presented something and they won something eventually. So we do hope that you'll also win, and then in the next few years your pictures will be presented by somebody from here that will become a professor most likely, right? And then of course this was the 2022 outreach where we went around some of the secondary schools in order to motivate our students. And then this time around we said, now we are not going to schools now. We have to change a little bit, invite schools, but let's go to the marketplace and tell the people in the market what the brain is. How does it function? So we went to the market, and then these are some guys that went and explained the functions of the brain, the disorders of the brain to different people. So basically to this presentation is going to focus on introduction to neuroscience, mental health, method of neuroscience studies, how to become a neuroscientist, career talk, and then study opportunity in neuroscience. So these are some of the highlights that we are going to present to you today. But before I go on, maybe you pick a paper and then we write a short quiz now that we are going to collect the LOC. Can you give the high school students, there are plain sheets here, maybe you give them in 3 minutes, maybe they can answer. Just write anything what you understand by this. No, maybe we can give you, or they can give them later during the course. Maybe 3 per row, you can give 3 per row. So what is neuroscience? And then neuroscience can be classified into dash, dash, and dash. The nervous system is divided into dash and dash. The functional unit of the nervous system is called dash. And then of course some of the things that changes neurons. Neurons transmit information. Don't worry, don't write your name, don't write anything that okay. Let's have representation, not everybody please. And then functions of the neurons. There are about how many neurons in the spinal cord and how many are found in the brain. The commonest mental health disorders include, and then some of the things that improves the brain functions. So please, we have just 2 minutes. You can just write it and then you submit. Can you see? They can't see. This is serious. We said neuroscience is defined as the study of dash. You just write the answer. We don't need you to copy the questions. Question 2, neuroscience can be classified into dash, dash, and dash. Number 3, the nervous system is divided into dash and dash. Number 4, the functional unit of the nervous system is called, okay. Number 5, some of the things that change neuron function include dash, dash, and dash. Number 6, neurons transmit information in the form of dash signal. Neurons transmit information in the form of dash signal. Number 7, the functions of neurons include dash, dash, and dash. Number 8, there are about dash in the spinal cord and dash in the brain. There are about dash in the spinal cord and dash in the brain. Number 9, the commonest mental health disorder. The commonest mental health disorders include dash, dash, and dash. The commonest mental health disorders include dash, dash, and dash. Then finally, some of the things that improve brain functions include just one. Some of the things that improves brain functions include dash. 1, 2, 3, time up. So collect the answer booklet. Oh, I've forgotten number 11, so let's just forget about it. Yeah, so now we go into the business of the day, understanding neuroscience. Neuroscience is the study of the brain and then its associated areas as well as the spinal cord. And then inside our brain, there are neurons. Neurons are the cells that take information, just like the way we know that living organisms are made up of cells that are functional in nature, and then we have different types of cells. There are cells that forms the skin, there are cells that forms the heart, there are cells that forms the liver, and also the cells that forms the brain is what we call the neurons. And this is the neurons and how they are. And this is the spinal cord, and of course we have associated areas, and then we have the ones that supplies the various parts of the body. So these are neurons that are being stimmed when you put certain things like chemicals and reagents. We call them imaging or calcium imaging. You can be able to view the neurons that are found in the brain because they are very tiny. We cannot see them with our naked eyes. And we have about 100 billion in the brain. How many of you knew what a billion is? Billion? How many knew? 1 million times 1,000 is 1 billion. Yep, it can fill the whole of this room. And then you will have 100 billion of them in your brain, just yours. So it means there are many in nature, but they are very tiny. That's why they are compacted. And of course, you can see them. We have about 1 billion in the spinal cord. And of course, they connect with one another in order to share information from one part of the body to the other. And you can see how the information is being flowed, and you can see how we stim them. And of course, like for instance, I'm looking at you, the light rays enters my eye, and then from there, the neurons take the information to the brain interprets it, then I can be able to see you as an image. And then of course, if it is something that I have to move from one place to another, I can walk, I can sit, I can lie down. So this is how the neurons take information. And then of course, it has different parts. We have the cell body, the axon, and then the dendrites. And this is how information usually flows. And of course, the brain is made up of different areas. There are areas that controls how I move from one place to another, how I feel. When I touch a hot object, I feel pain. So there is an area in the brain that will say, hi, Mustafa, there is pain. This object is very hot, so remove your hands. Then I should be able to remove my hands. And then areas for vision where I can be able to see, memory, to keep a lot of things that you have read. Yes? You want to pass the quiz, you have studied a lot over months, days, and now you want to record. So there is an area in the brain that usually store information. And of course, judgment, your ability to know this is right, this is wrong, and then reward. When you pass, when you participate, we give you awards and a lot of things. So there is an area that controls that. And of course, movements, solving mathematics, seeing, perception, pain, olfaction, speech, like I'm talking now. There are some people that cannot talk. Have you ever asked yourself why? So there is an area in the brain that controls how we speak that is damaged in those people. That's why they cannot talk, right? So usually neurons are workaholic in nature, and there are a lot of things that can change the functions of the neurons. Sorry. We have like accidents, drugs, alcohol, disease conditions, aging, people that are old, sometimes they cannot remember, right? So these are some of the things that usually change the function of the brain to the extent that people can forget themselves and they don't know who they are. And of course, as a result of aging, they can't remember. So this is the normal brain, and during aging, you can see how it changes into. Yeah, and then this deadly guy that is here, drugs, Benelin, Penitoin, a lot of them, they destroy the society, and this is part of the reason why we are calling you to advocate to you, so that you tell them this is wrong, don't go close to it. Wow, loud music. Yeah, it also destroys the functions of the brain. Addiction. So, what is addiction? These are some of the guys that normally drugs are some things that they change the physiology of the body when one is sick. But when you take them continuously, the part of the brain that controls reward usually changes, and people cannot survive without them. So these are very dangerous. They destroy your memory, they destroy your sense of judgment, your perception and everything. So at the end of the day, you are not who you are. You behave like somebody that is not normal, right? So this is dangerous. These are some of the things that usually destroy people. That's why in advanced countries, if they catch somebody selling these drugs, it's just execution. They will kill him because he's trying to destroy the society. And all these things are very bad, and usually they control this area that usually affects our body system. So please and please avoid this. So we are what we are because our neurons are connecting to one another. That's why we can talk, we can see, we can reason, we can speak, we can learn, we can unlearn, and then relearn and relearn and relearn again. This is because of neurons. And the science and the field of studying neurons is called neuroscience. So who got it right? Yeah, you've all got it. So neuroscience is the largest area that is still unknown. Up till now, we cannot harness the potential of the human brain. You can't imagine if we can understand just 20% of the functions of human brain. It can change everything in our lives. So evolution of neuroscience, there are different areas: affective, behavioral, cellular. When you graduate and then when you come to university, you can study biology, medicine, physiology, anatomy, computer science, engineering, and any other field, and then you can come back and become a neuroscientist. Even history, neuroeconomics, neuromarketing. What connects the brain with marketing? Marketing should be for people that go and buy and sell. Economics is a social science. So let's see how we... Neuromarketing in advanced countries, these countries are like the US, the Germany, Russia, and co. What they do is that they make different brands, Rolex, and then a lot more, and then they bring these items and then show them to people, and then they put them in a machine called MRI, and when you see it, if the area of the brain usually is activated more, so on that basis they try to see that which one stimulates the brain more and which one stimulates the brain less. So as such, they will produce more of that one. You see, they use our brain to see what we want, what the brain likes much, and then they produce it so that people can buy. So this is neuromarketing. So you can see Honda, different types. They make different brands and then they expose people to them, and then they test their brain and see which one the brain likes much, and then they produce more, so that when they produce, people will buy them a lot. And then of course, between these posters, which one is better? This one or this one? So those that are for this should raise up their hands. What about this, the second one? So who goes for this? Yeah, so you can see many people move for the last one, but they carry the same information. So they check our brain and see which ones stimulate the brain more, and then they produce more of this so that people can buy a lot. So this is neuromarketing. And then of course there is neuroscience and law. You can study law also and then become a neuroscientist. Like in court, some people will just wake up, kill a lot of people, and then eventually they'll be taken to court. So you have to check their brain functions, whether it is normal, before you can sentence them. So just like this guy that wake up and then kill a lot of people. So they took him, they test his brain and find out that he's normal, so they have to sentence him also, the same way he killed people. And then of course, computer and neuroscience. What is the association? This is very important. This rat that you are seeing is in the United States of America, and this rat is in Brazil, which is more than 1,000 kilometers away. Just like for you to see I'm in Maiduguri and then the other rat is in Lagos. You see they are different. But there is an electrode that is connected to them. You can see here is connected to computer, and then this one too is connected to this rat with computer. So what usually happens is that when there is water, then a light will be shined at this point. Once the rat sees the light, he will press a button here and then he will take water. And this wire or cable that you are seeing will take the information in form of electrical signal via computer, via internet to this rat. And this rat will perceive this rat has taken water and it will go and take water. So this is the action of engineering and computer science, which is computational neuroscience. And I think the greatest project that was given by Barack Obama is the Blue Brain project. He gave $1 billion US in order to map human brain and see how does it function. And do you know the amazing thing? It took them 42 days to map the activity of one neuron out of 100 billion neurons with the fastest computer on earth. And it was headed by Professor Eric Kandel, who has retired as a professor of neuroscience. So you see there are a lot that we have not understood about our brain. Have you ever seen people that their arm has been amputated? People that they cut their arm. So usually we form prosthetics. Usually it's connected to the body. It functions just like an artificial arm. And when you move it, it also moves. So as in order for somebody to feel as if he's also okay and fine. So what are the methods of studying neuroscience? We can use these guys, the rats that you are seeing at home. There are some species, Wister albino, and then we can also use snail. And of course, even flies, we can study neuroscience with them. And then of course, this one too, we can also study neuroscience with them. So there is no limit to what we can do because we share the same DNA with them. So you can see, this is a snail. What happens is this, we give it something that is bitter, it will refuse to take. Then we give it something that is sweet, sucrose, it will take. And then we will merge it. Once he realizes that there is something that is sweet, he will come out and take it. Then we remove the sweet one and then we give it the thing that is bitter. So he will think it's the sweet one, he will come and take. So this is what we use in order to test the memory of the animals. So we test memory in human, in animals, and a lot more. So this is where I will stop at this point. Some guys will proceed from here. But before we move on, at this point, we are going to take our participants that will participate in the quiz competition. Only two students from each school will go out. There is a bus that is provided outside here. So we will take you to the venue where you will sit and then write the quiz, while the teachers and the other students will stay here, and then we will continue with the outreach program. And then later on, each school are going to mount their exhibition there, after the presentation of the outreach so that they will be evaluated. So please and please, each schools, the 2 representatives will go out. You are now ours. You are not your teachers, so we handle you from here, right? Because we want you to come and stand here and then talk tomorrow. So thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause to him, please. Again and again and again, please. Before we invited Mr. Farouk Omar A as a mentor, made mention that each school should give a